What is going on, guys? It's Noah here with Custom RC Mods, and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, you can see we've got the FT Arrow on the bench. We're going to be doing some upgrades today. If you just watched my recent kind of haul video that I did from Buddy RC, you see I did get some new motor and ESC for this plane, as well as a new prop setup, which should make this thing a lot faster and a lot more fun to fly. Not that it isn't fun to fly right now, but it should be a really good experience overall. So we're going to go ahead and put those upgrades in today. Now, I'm just going to walk you through what I'm going to do for this and how mine is built. However, if you have an FT Arrow at home that you're looking to do something similar to, you may have built it differently. So don't rely on my information. Go ahead and use your own judgment as well as research on ways that you might have built. However, let's go ahead and just do this. I'm going to be swapping out my A2212 1000 kV motor and 30 amp ESC combo for this SunnySky 2207S 2100 kV motor. This is like a race quad motor, and that is more of a traditional like airplane motor. And then I also have a brand new ZTW Beetles 30 amp ESC, and this should be a nice welcome upgrade over the like unbranded Hobby Power ESC in there, to have something that I know is going to be more reliable and will be able to handle the high amperage current draw from this motor, as well as we're going to be running these 6x5.3 three-blade props that are 6 inches, and it's going to be a very interesting little experiment here. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Waste no time. One thing that this motor did not come with, as you can see, it does not have one of these X mounting brackets for me to mount to my firewall. So I went ahead and pulled one out of my parts supply, and the holes do line up, and I also got some mounting screws so that we can mount it right in there. So I'm going to do that right now, just to prepare the motor for installation. Alright, so as you can see, we have our motor mounted to the X bracket, and unlike my other motors, this one has a shaft that actually protrudes out the back of the motor a little bit, so we're going to have to address that on the firewall as we mount the motor. But for now, let's go ahead and focus our eyes to the old electronics system, and I'm going to take my hobby knife and my razor blade and just basically cut off the old firewall. It's a fairly simple process. We actually might even be able just to rip it off. I'm actually just going to cut it off though. Just to preserve it, we're just going to cut it off right here so that we can get the old motor off of it. And there you can see we've got our motor off, and the ESC was just flopping around inside, so I'm going to unplug it right now, just like so. And now our old motor system has been removed, and we can focus on installing the new one. So before we get to installing the new one, you can see that neither the ESC nor the motor have their bullet connectors installed. So I'm just going to go ahead and direct solder. I've got my heat shrink right here, and my soldering iron is heating up. I'm going to basically direct solder these two together and check for rotation. We want this motor to rotate clockwise since it's a pusher and is rotating a counterclockwise prop. So I'm going to go ahead and solder it all together. It's pretty self-explanatory. I have a bunch of soldering videos on my channel if you're interested in them, but we're going to do that now. And now it's time to test motor direction. And a good way just to see what you're working with here when you're using these motors, because even I can barely tell which way it's going, is to take like a piece of tape and put it around your spinner just like so, and then you'll be able to tell for sure. And as you can see, that is going clockwise, which is my correct direction. Okay, so now we have our ESC and motor combo all ready to drop into the airplane, and we're going to go ahead and mount this motor back up to the original firewall. So I'm going to take my screwdriver and just replace it with the same exact holes that were on the original firewall. Alright, so with that finally completed, we have our motor mounted back up to our firewall, and it's time to finally get this thing into the aircraft. Now the way that my ESC tends to sit is I have my motor just like this, and then the motor wires come in the same hole that the ESC wires go out. So we're going to try to position it just like that so that it can work like so. So go ahead and stick the ESC in motor wires first into the fuselage, and tuck that receiver wire in there as well. Okay. Once that's seated down in there, we can grab the motor wires. Now we finally have our motor mounted up to the FT Aero, and the last thing we have to do is mount our prop. So as I pre-fit it on before, I think that it fits pretty well just as it is, just like so. And we can just screw it on, make sure it's nice and tight. There we go. Doesn't look like that's going anywhere. It's time to go ahead and button up this center cavity here, plug in our ESC to the receiver, just like so. Kind of route the wires away from the receiver, and now our Aero is done. We've got our upgrade completed, and it's time to go ahead and see what this thing can do. I'm going to mount my battery in place, like so, and plug it in. First, turn on our transmitter. As you can hear, that's a good sound. That is a lot of thrust. Wow, this is going to be such an amazing upgrade for the FT Aero. I cannot wait to get this thing out up in the sky. Stay tuned for a new maiden flight with the new upgrades, and I'm so excited to get this thing up. Let's go ahead. Give this thing one more rev. I'm really excited. This is only 3S. I can't wait to even try 4S if I dare on this plane. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for some more videos coming soon. With that said, see you later.